We're here again. Good morning. It's once again time for Happy Fragment Hour. Or is it Fragment Happy Hour? Who knows? I did like 10 minutes of work after the stream yesterday and then nothing. It was a Sunday. You're not supposed to work on a Sunday. But I did a bunch of stuff. We did a bunch of stuff. We have a lot of whatevers here. I'm wondering about some of these. It feels like I'm overwriting stuff, maybe. Am I extending stuff yet? I don't think I am. Let's go to expression, template, register fragment. So what if we already have the fragment? What happens then? Do we add scope? So we are hashing fragment type value content hash. It's a content hash, and if we have the fragment, we have the fragment. If the scope is not empty, we should just be putting this in. This is fine. I'm wondering why we have so many without fragments though. That's weird. Because we don't have a path. And path would be something like this. So I guess all these are probably components that I'm not using, I guess. Probably. What are you? 13, 14. Finally! What do you mean finally? Yeah, finally. I'm finally streaming. You were gone for a few days. Didn't see you around much last week. What happened? Did an owl eat your internet connection? This doesn't make sense. This is not 14, 13. Yes, that's probably what happened. A kangaroo beating up an emu in your yard made it impossible for you to get to your computer. Or maybe you wanted to drive home, but there were too many cane toads on the road, so you had too much fun driving over all the toads, and you ended up not ever going home. You were trapped in an endless cycle of driving over cane toads. A bin chicken? Wait, what was a bin chicken? I heard that once before. Are these ones? Yeah, you told me about these. Ooh. They are really not the most attractive bird. This guy has like a head for eating carcasses. Like when your entire interface for interacting with the world is your beak, because you don't have hands, and your entire head is like trapped in a cycle of sorrow. ibis. Yeah. The Australian white ibis. They really look like a sad bird. Once a noble creature, the dinosaurs now turned into this. The bin chicken in its natural habitat. A bin. Maybe you should call him I Bin, because that's all he does. That's all he does. Which one was I looking at? 1276 was somewhere up here. 1314. What is 1314? 8b, 7ae. You're just returning the variable. It doesn't sound like fun. And where would that be? Source, public, secure, upload. So we are in admin. Or is it IO? From the IO. No, not even that. Huh. Unsure. I do have lots here. So in here, so I use that, the thing. I guess I didn't close that. Well, we were trying to find out what's the result of all this. And I think I was doing... This is fine. Well, I haven't done all of them yet. Let's look at the current results. Ooh. The current result is we are dying. Ooh. Because we get a null and we don't get a clickable link. 1108. You are not a string. Oh, this is a null, right. If it is null, then that's an input that we haven't satisfied yet. What do we do with that then? Do we... It should be like a var. A var. Input scope. Scope vars. Why do I not have... No, wait, this is different. This is the input scope for the exec. But we might also have up here, if it's a null value, then we want this in vars. And vase is good morning. Good morning. And how are you today? We have vase now. And I guess we want the same thing here. Vase. Oh wait, this should be quoted string. And then we might do vase equals this. So that might be empty. Sad. We're still dying, but we're now getting clickable links. I still have a null here. Wait. Oh, yeah. Because you're an else if. Oh, this is when we extend the fragments. And last time this was broken because paths was empty. It's not empty now though, so that's fine. I also think I want to inline function debugging. Nice. That is nice. Although I make this nice later, I think. Oh look, we have, and I just improved PHP output. It's just kind of empty. But we now have lots of fragments here. Ugh. This is still ugly though. We want this to be what? We need an extra line here. Basically, when the function was inline, you lose more debug. Ooh, yeah, that's helpful. It's nice to be able to debug even inline functions. Let's do this, and then 1, 2, 3, kind of. What's the indenting here? You should be indented twice. Oh, just once, hang on. Yeah. It should be twice. And then this stuff up here should also be indented twice. I don't know the library I was using, but the code itself. Ooh. Are you at the point where you're considering whether you want to just chuck the library and rewrite it yourself? Because that sounds like it. Right? Right. You're at the point where you say, I have this library and I'm using like 10% of it. And mostly it's going wrong, so why don't I just write the 10% myself and not deal with it? Because we very much like to not deal with stuff like that. Well, not print. Tab. Is it LLVM? I mean, LLVM is hard to replace, and it's not a library. But I've heard stories about LLVM being slow as heck. Mm, uh, yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get. Why is this still so bad? Up here, this always moves around this window. I don't get it. Yeah, another story old this time. Libraries. And imagine that there are like all these languages like Rust and what else? Well, mostly Rust and JavaScript too, where mostly what you're doing is you're just connecting libraries. It's bad. It's really bad. This is also kind of bad. Oh yeah, we also figured out last time that I have a bunch of situations in here. Like this, I'm returning a function with return in there. It's kind of bad. Yeah. Don't want to deal with this right now, but I will have to do that eventually. Like every time I have multiple expressions in here. So if we do count larger than one, we need to deal with it. We need to deal with it. Because those shouldn't be like a return. There should be a return eventually. Kind of. And then we should put the other stuff in scope. Recursive types are validated with respect to the first type index defined by recursive group. So I already don't understand what that says. Yeah, that reads like a midwit trying to pretend that he's smart and using all the big words. And this is probably something very simple that could just be expressed in something that a human can understand. What? That's fine. Let's ask. Wait, do I have that? No. New chat. Can you explain wait, what was that? Recursive types to me like a sensible human word and not a programmer midwit who's trying to come across as extremely smart. Oh, he immediately went into fast mode. Let's cut to the jargon and explain what wasn't recursive types like a sensible person. Not like somebody auditioning for most extruded Stack Overflow answer of the year. That's nice. Wasm is a low-level bytecode form that runs in fast and browsers and elsewhere. Originally, its type system was simple. function had fixed non-signatures, tables and memories had simple elements. Like this table holds func refs. There wasn't a way for types to refer to themselves, but Wasm grew to support higher level languages like C++, Rust, and eventually GC heavy languages, Java. It needed richer type systems. See, I disagree. Why do you need rich type systems? Including types that reference themselves. I think that's only a linked list. Type list, empty node, value, next list. The list type mentions itself. That's recursive. In a language like Rust or Java, this is normal. In Wasm's original type system, this was not possible. Recursive types fix that. Fast in browsers, maybe. Is Wasm not fast somewhere else? Huh. I would imagine that it should run the same everywhere, right? No? You're telling me now for the first time. Is it like are browsers the only ones who have like well-optimized runtimes or something? Isn't this supposed to be assembly? Literally assembly? Wasm lets you define structured types. Select current reference, blah blah blah. Simple example type. You already set that up there. Why not just define the type and refer to a name? Because it wasn't type systems for developer convenience. Let's plus actually. Names of runtime indices. Can you stop that? It probably is, yeah. GC type objects. Oh. I mean, it's kind of repeating itself all the time. Okay, so I mean, this is what it's trying to tell us. And this is what we get. So why is this bad? I mean, recursive types already kind of tells you that it's a type within a type referencing itself. But I mean, this is not helpful. Validated with respect to the first type index. It's like way into the weeds in the first sentence. That's a good question. A sub-final Y. It just reads like garbage. This looks like Rust code to me, where it tries to come across as a very clever, but it's the 10% of complexity that it hides in its jargon would be very helpful if it was there. And you could read it if you're not tired as I am. Yeah. I think this is like programmers being envious of mathematicians. And they would really, really like to be as clever as mathematicians. And if you don't understand that mathematicians have made a job out of coming across as very smart by just having this Byzantine notation that makes normies' eyes bowl over. I like these examples. Maybe you've seen some of that before, where somebody takes a math notation block and just prints it out as like pseudocode, and it's very simple. Anybody could understand that. And it's not even that much more text than the math notation, but the math notation is inscrutable. unless you know all the words. Like it's one, sometimes it's just one degree of abstraction too much. And it wouldn't be that hard and not even that verbose to chuck away that one level of abstraction, but mathematicians will never ever do that because that's their job security. Yeah, right. That could be a pointer, I guess. But I mean, you chose the task of trying to deal with WebAssembly, so it's kind of on you. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Ooh. God. So yeah, so they needed to extend WebAssembly to make Java work. Ugh. You get a sense that they're maybe trying to. I mean, this is what was the Elon quote? That it's one of the most prevalent like degeneracies of any engineer to optimize the thing that should not be optimized. Like you could have solved this differently. You could have said, well, maybe Java is a step too far. Maybe Java was wrong, like as a concept. Maybe we shouldn't go there. But then they did not. And they did not. Maybe if you're thinking about using Java, you shouldn't. Ever thought about that? Ugh, look at what I have to deal with. No, they're not happy now. That's the thing. They never are happy from doing this. What they are is they are now in a different job at a different company, and somebody else, some unfortunate soul has to deal with their bad decisions that did nothing but increase the amount of technical debt that their follow-up programmer has now has to deal with. You don't get happy by increasing complexity and increasing the amount of tech debt. Ugh. I didn't even realize that WebAssembly has garbage collection, actually. That already seemed like a problem. Like the entire concept of having... Why does he start out with saying that garbage collection is a wonderful thing? Like, that just says we don't want programmers to be smart enough to care about memory themselves. It provides a hierarchy of heap-allocated reference types and a set of instructions to operate on them. Yeah, we've created an entire framework because we don't trust our developers to not screw up something as simple as memory. Which, fair point, because I also can't do that, but maybe it would be better to allow people to become smart enough to do that. Apple gave up on garbage collection? I don't know about that. Did they? Like, does Swift not have garbage collection? Huh. I would have imagined that Swift uses garbage collection. There's also kinds of this kind of reads like these articles where somebody writes a funny article about here is how programmers sound when they talk. you know. For starters, let's look at blah, blah, blah. So far it makes sense. And there's like a WebGL demo. Looks like wasm.gc. I'll use hoot, the scheme, to wasm command. Now you've lost me. Now I have to look up 5 things. You just plug the widget into the compiler and then you use the... yeah. And he does explain it, but it's... Again, there could be like 10% more words and it would be 200% less inscrutable. But most of this is just visual noise to people who don't know exactly what you're talking about. And he's trying to draw a triangle. It's a little verbose. But I think that's like natural for all this GL stuff. And I think isn't like what's the Vulkan thing, I think is even more verbose, isn't it? Oh, Vulkan is less verbose? No, more, yeah. Vulkan is even like, I don't know, every single function needs 5 more definitions. Ugh. I mean, programmers keep doing that. They keep adding abstractions that... An abstraction is usually are supposed to make things shorter. What programmers tend to do is that they tend to implement their level of understanding. And sometimes that leads to a situation where you're literally re-implementing the programming language itself. Like all the stuff about service-oriented architecture and dependency injection. It's just, I'm not smart enough to deal with functions and scopes. So I will now implement this whole orchestration that in the end boils down to functions and scopes. And now you have to write 200 lines instead of 12. God. It needs, well, it just needs a little bit more code, you know. And now you have 15 standards. But you know, it's like the war in Ukraine. Just one more package of sanctions and we'll be good. And they're like now on sanction number 13 or 14, I lost count. Yeah, this makes me sad. Imagine having a good idea like, we want to expose assembly to web programmers, and then you screw it up. In 3 years, I think you'll never be able to read memory. I think that will never happen. It's like the eternal, the pendulum that never stops, basically. You will think maybe we will stop swinging at some point. It will just coalesce on something sensible, and then that never happens. And then at some point you sit there with all your high-level aspirations and you look at a stream of a literal retard such as myself using PHP to make a lot of money, and then you say, well, maybe I'm actually more interested in money, you know? Maybe money is fine. Maybe I should do what the retard does. Yeah, right. You sometimes have the idea that some programs are literally allergic to money, and I have that sickness myself. I mean, I'm building an engine basically, so I'm halfway to insanity. But yeah. It makes a little more sense to myself. So what do I want to do here? I want to have, in the end, so F content, this all should be down here. Pretty much. Pointer types. I've never used a pointer in my life outside of like PHP references and dealing with LLM generated code that has pointers, but that doesn't really count, does it? Yeah. Which is kind of the thing that PHP does. The function, well, it's not really true. At least it's not literally true. I think I'm going to do something very dumb right now. So I have this string. Let's do like a demonstration. So I have this. And the problem is that I have all these expressions in here. But later on I want to have something where I just return. And then it's like a string, like this here. And then a concatenation of this, and then the next concatenation that does like this here. So I'm going to go over this, a regex match anything that is between these markers, and just add these. And then after that, I will strip away if it starts with that, because we don't want that. And that's it. And otherwise, we just start with this quote. That's what we're doing. Yep. It's done that way. Well, we will do preg replace. We're going to, well, we can't Can we? We don't want to mess up. Let's be extra sure here. We're going to do these, and then yeah, this. What you need to do is, could we have underscores in there? Let's just use this one. I already have something that does this. Yeah, that sadly doesn't work. This one here. It would be nice if you could not match on multiple characters, but can't do it. No, we might be able to simplify some of that, but I don't want to. We just want to replace this in here, and wait, do we match? We can just match on the first thing, right? I think we should be able to do $0 here. So we want this and $0 maybe, but we want to do that in this. That is this, I think. So the first one we're going to match is going to be bad, because now we have all this crap in there. Oh yeah, we need to not do this, we need to do this here. It's a concatenation. And then if the string f content starts with, and then it's like this. And then we just do substring this, and then it's 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. And if it ends with this one, but in reverse, then we want to substring from 0 to -3. Oh, ends. Oh. I killed my IDE again. That doesn't work, right? Hang on, I'll try this in a second. It does? But isn't negative look ahead like super slow? This is 280 microseconds. Nope, no match. This is also one too many. See? It's 700 microseconds. It works. No, wait, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because this doesn't work. Sorry. And it's slow. It is much slower, and this is ends with. And then we still want to at some point figure this one out. Do we now get a nice string here? Okay, so this is cleaned up. Okay, so now we clean up the regular case. Now we want to have the case where we have multiple of these. And what do we get? Jump back to Kate. Right. So now we need to do the inverse case of that. which is if the string does not start with this, then we want to start with a quote. And then if it doesn't end with, again, this, then we want to have the quote in the end. See, this is a retard code. Literal retard code, but it works. Now we have what we want. Almost. This didn't work. Oh, if it doesn't end with this. See, this is code a child could understand. And then all this here replaces the functions. So down here, f content is now broken. Wait, oh, I'm still doing this one. This is dumb. We are still doing the dumb thing. So once again, go here. And now this function, let's have a proper scratch file. Why are you? No, this should work. Why don't you work? Oh, it's yeah. See, that wasn't too hard, was it? And I mean, the only reason why I can get away with retard code here is because all this is compile time. So this is done rarely. Oh, this is, oh look, this is still broken here. Right? This should be a variable. Why is that not a variable? And this is completely, this is nonsense. Oh, this is nonsense. Something in my expression parser messes up here. It's catastrophic nonsense. Because I'm trying to replace, what was substring again? Yeah, in this string, it's supposed to replace this variable. And why is that not a variable? That should be a percentage sign. Oh, this is why. This should be, no. Yeah, this is kind of baking. It's a bakery. So the expression is actually this here. But it kind of gets mangled. It's supposed to take this whole thing. So this should be a property, but it puts the comma here, and then it kind of swallows this point, which is bad. It's supposed to turn a comma value. Wait, why does it do that? Shouldn't there be a dot to begin with? I mean, the property is right. That part is fine. The rest is just bonkers. So what it actually should be is, it should be this, and then it should replace the comma with the dot. That's what it should look like. Let's... Do I have a test for this? I've broken the testing for the expression parser a while ago, so maybe we need to resurrect that now. Yeah. Take care. Have a good night. So my test should be in base. Test. Don't test for that. Let's make a new test then. I need to escape these. Let's see what you do. Oh, it kind of works. And we had the code we wanted here, no. Oh, we had it in the other test. Oh, it's in, okay, it's here. Oh no, wait, where did I put that? Didn't I just do this somewhere? Oh, I had the scratch file, that's what it was. You should be this. You should be this, and then group ID, and then all this. So in run, to run again. Yeah, see, this is the arrow. This is bad. And this is also bad. Oh, this is also bad. Jesus. Do we want to fix that now? I don't know. Maybe I do want to fix this now. So when we are in the test, that is this. Debug you. What do you pass here? So it's a substring, and this part is kind of fine. Let's keep the result open so we know what we want. This is a single quoted string. This is another single quoted string. And this extend doesn't quite work. Why is this a variable? This is not a var function. And that's bad. This should be glued in with this here, with the previous extend. Wait, it wasn't the result super bad? That's some go here if this also is true. Yeah, this is super bad. No, it's not super bad, it's fine. Do I change this in the resolver? Or do I fix this in the parser? So if we have a var, I should play around with solitaire. I will try to figure something out here, fail, and then I will play around with solitaire. So we are in type variable. It's not a function. It's not an object, not an array, not an expression. Okay, so if we... Oh wait, no, hang on. This falls down to the default. That's bad. I mean, this is kind of where we end up. Where we do this here. Just take the chunk of content. Chunk content is correct. Wait. Why do we... It does this here. Okay. So we need another else case. And if the type of this is a variable, and then the previous type of the previous chunk, which I can do with how again? We have previous. Previous input, kind of. What would that look like? Okay. Where was I? Here. And previous input type. Original type, I think. Yeah. Viewer and extend. Wait, I can't do that. We are already kind of doing it. But we really can't do it here. Yeah, I guess it's Zachtronics time. Let's see. Let's see what we get. We have 19 and 20. And 21 is here. So if we can land the king on the queen, this kind of works. So we put king down, 5 on the 6, 21 goes, 20, 19, 18, 17 go, we're fine. We are just fine. It all works out. And then we can put this here. These two and these three connect somehow. We can first do this here. Then we can wiggle this over here. If we had the 8, could go and the 9. We can move this over here. There's the 3. Oh, the 3 is buried. We can put this over here, and then the 15 doesn't go because we don't have the 16. But we can move this over here, and then we can, I don't know, do we need the 7? No. Do we need the 10? Not really. Jack is kind of close. We could draw this one out. Not quite. Not quite. These connect here. We can't put these down and these up. But first have to put it on the 8 here. But we don't have 12, 13. For that we need 14 or 11. We could put the queen over, and then we kind of can't cut through this here. We could put all these down, and then kind of connect these maybe. This is rough. I could trade the a 9 in the slot with having these on here. I think we're not getting death, actually. It feels like something that will end up on a low number. So we could put these on here, 9 in the slot. And we have 7. 7... No, wait. Yeah, no, we would have 7. But we'd have to put 9 up first. So this would be blocked. We could also pull the queen out, put this in the slot, king up, 6 down. Don't have any better options right now, I think. We lose the slot that way. And that's usually not a good idea. Okay, so queen here. All these down, so we have... Oh, we could invert it later, I guess. We could also put 2 down, 9 up, 4 on there, 9 down, and then we get 11. And we can put that on here. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, then we can trade the queen here. Look. This kind of works out, I guess. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And how are you today? Yeah, it is very beautiful. It's a beautiful game. What do we do next? Do we put this down? Ah, we lose the slot that way. And we don't want that. We could trade all these on the 10. But then we have the 7. Yeah, this is Zertronics Solitaire collection. It's called Fortune's Foundation. And the rule is you can only ever move 1 card. And you can stack them up and down. And you have to go aces up to king, and then tarot 0 up and 21 down. And we don't want death in the end. Jesus. Death is a bad omen. Okay, so again, king, queen down, all these over here. That means we could invert king, queen. And we kind of want to land these eventually. We could also put these down and move this stack on the 7. Then we're kind of still screwed. But at least we would be collecting a bunch of cards. Could also put this down, 3 up, 10 on the 11. Oh, okay, let's do... Okay, so we put this down. We have king to 10. 2 up, this whole stack on the 7. Then we could put this stack down, put the jack here, but then we're stuck on the 14. Maybe we first want to move the this stack on this 9 here. So then we could just move this over. Ooh. Oh. Don't have any better options right now. So we have this now. This is now our situation. We could now... oh no, wait, we have it, we have this, and then this, and 2 here, and then all these go. It's fine. We are winning. We are winning the game. Do we want these? Yeah, we want these first. Jack here. Bounce this on here. Get these out. Get a slot back. Now we can get the 2 and the 3, 4, 5, 6. Can move this on here. And we're not quite out of the woods yet, but we get all these now. All these. Let's see what we're getting. We could still get death if we wanted to, but I don't want to. And not the tower either. We're getting 9. What was 9? I think 9 was the hermit, right? Yeah. Not ideal. Not ideal. But the true nature of things becomes apparent, and the light of wisdom shines. One more round. And then we go back to expression parsing. We want a fast round this time. Okay, so this one is obvious. This could go either way. And then I guess we want to stack all these this way. Do you want the 21? Could also get the 7. We don't quite have the king placed yet. And I think it'll be a while. But we don't need the jack. Right? Not really. Could also dig quite far here. Where's the 12? Here. The 2s are kind of buried. This one is here, this one is here. They're really buried. So that kind of suggests that we want to deal with the tarots as quickly as possible. So let's do the 21. Could put the 10 down. The 9 is here. Or this would land on this later on. I think it's fine. So we do this, and then this, and then this. Dicey move, but we can do this. Oh no, it's fine. Do this. It's fine. Get 2 slots. I can get the 15 out. Put this on here. Get the 7. Don't have the 2 yet. 19 is here. Which we could get. Then we're kind of stuck on that. We could get this 1. Yeah, I think about this one first. The 9 here. Put this in here, 4 here, this one here. Could get this 4. Yeah, because we get the slot back. Can trade this. Oh, this goes. Cool. Then we trade this one in. Get this here. This was an easy game. Let's finally get these. Get the 17 out. 18, 17, 16, 15. Got the drag here. Got the queen here. Put all this on here. Oh, we're getting 13. No. No, wait. We can still salvage this. I'm not getting death. Getting strength. And we need strength. Don't forget how you really are. What we are is somebody who will now fix this parser. So this is, I think, useless. I think this was a bad idea. Because we can't hoist this back into the function. Wait, what is the heap at this point? What is the heap at this point? Let's just pretend like this is fine. And we'll go there again. And then we'll go here. No. Actually, no. Try again. Wait, is this the thing, the group ID thing? Where's my scratch? This over here. This is fine. What? Why are we not getting there? So we get all the way to this point. So we are now here. And what happens next? This happens next. And gluing them together. Heap is the group ID. This is fine. Previous input. And then it's the next input. I think we're doing it up here. Oh look, this is interesting. I think this is what I want. Previous input original type is an extend. But maybe it could also... Oh, this one. Because the current input is this. It's not an extend, but it should be. So we're going to do and this, or the type is a variable, and the content starts with a bracket. So we want the content starts with a bracket. Then we want to move out, and then we don't need this stuff down here, really. This might work. Okay, so again, if the input, no wait, this is wrong. No, this, if it's either an extend or if the input is a variable that starts with this, then we move out. This might work. Almost. Oh, this is still... This would still work. It's just not quite what we want. Can we salvage this? Let's hydrate. I mean, it works. So I also kind of want to fix this here. This is bad. And the other ones are what? This is fine. Could we change that? Why do we do that? Should be in the resolver. I think we're doing this here. No. Where are we adding a space? I think it's this one. It might be this one. It might work. No. No, it does not. Let's just run this again. So we're getting here. And the heap is what? No. What? Why are we never getting there? We were at an array. And We are now nested one level. Oh, this is another. Ooh. Is this still fine? We are doing that thing, which is fine. We could do another thing like this. Just to glue things together. It's kind of dicey, but I kind of don't care either. So we might have a string that is like this, and then it's and then we want to replace anything that looks like this. And we want to replace it with this. And then this other thing here, this didn't work. Should work, right? Nice. This is fine actually. We don't care about that. So now we only have this one. Yeah, this fails because it doesn't understand that. Why does it do that? Yeah, this is bad. I don't have sub-expressions like this, actually. I think it's fine. What I think is that this is fine. We fixed the bug. Neat. It's a neat. What do we get now? Do we have proper code? Let's pull this over here. Let's give it a name. Returns this. We kind of want this to be splayed out, don't we? Let's do a new line. And then we want a new line in the tab. And this is fine now. Nice. You get SVG info and group ID. Nice. It just works. Did you see that? Did you see how we fixed things? And that now means that when we get down here, what does the code look like? Ugh, it looks bad. We need more indents. 2 more indents. One here and one in the end. Neat. This is fine. Ugh, this is still bad. This is also bad. We're not cleaning up properly. So let's see, where do we have Google Fonts? And we should also, wait, what's up here? Oh, come on. If content contains Google Fonts, what do we get? And why is this so slow? So we have a string that starts, oh wait, it could also start with just a, what do we start with here? Let's go for fragment content is this. And then let's step through this. So yeah, literally this now. Why? Oh. No, wait. That should be fine. Why does this match? What? Oh, there's this one. Right, I'm at 4. There is an almost invisible thing in there. Right, I think this should work. Yeah. Yep. What are we getting? Is it fine now? This looks fine. Also looks fine. This is good. Nice. I think this is working. And isn't that something? I think this one is a set. Or no, just a return for this SVG, which should honestly be a path, like a resource. So maybe we want to change that later. But it'll work. It's just not quite ideal. Although this would turn into something with a scope. Yeah, but the scope is still completely mangled. But doing the scope properly. This is not indented correctly. So let's fix that. Oh, come on. Can I please drag you? Thank you. Jesus. Okay, so this looks good now. So now we just need to figure out how to do the exec. Ooh, this is also bad. Why doesn't this have prereqs, implode? Yeah. You should have quotes. And then I guess I want these to be indented as well. So new line, tab, tab. Oh, this is a string, I guess. Other string. No, the same thing over here. Not this one though. And this will end with a new line and 2 tabs. And then in here we're going to go new line, tab, tab, tab. So I think we need 3 tabs here. Tab, tab. No, I'm fine. I have water and tea. It's all I need for a while. But make sure that you're not getting attacked by bin chickens. They want to steal your food. And this did not work at all. Oh, there's the fragments. Hang on. I'm doing this wrong. I was in the wrong thing. What is swooping season? Is it when all the birds come in and swoop away your food? This is slightly better. We need 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3 more indents. The birds have had the babies and are very Jesus. Like is the entirety of Australia like a PvP server? Is that what's happening? I think that's what's happening. Then we need a quote here and a quote here. And then I want to quote these. Battle Royale. You are not the top of the food chain, that's for sure. Because they will take your food. Almost. This needs 2 more indents, and then this one also. Almost. This is good now. No, just the last one. Needs 1, 2 more indents. So we want it nice and tidy. Cool. Okay, I think this will be it for me for today. So I have to help in the kitchen now. And I think, isn't John up? Wow, you get belly. Neat. We're going to raid John again. That's all we do. It's fine. I'll be there when you are back. Take care. See you tomorrow, maybe, or the day after. We'll see. Bye bye.
We want an explicit target that only goes between, let's say, per screen camera area to overhead target. And we're going to use the same enum, even though this just has this other value. We can change the type of this later.